Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. Now, you may remember that I made these little thank you gifts. I actually did the purple posy one on camera. So these were my thank you gifts to my customers who ordered from me in June. And of course, I needed a thank you card to go with them. So I decided to make a matching one. Kind of matches. It matches the same thank you and the same piece of DSP, and I've used the same stamp set and stamped a little bit on the envelope as well to make it look nice. So I'm going to show you how I did these cards, and I'm going to make the purple posy one with you. This one I didn't use the DSP, I hand stamped to match that, and it was whilst I was making these that I realised that I could have used a stitched rectangle on these boxes. It would have fitted perfectly. So I'm going to show you how I did these fairly quick, simple but pretty little cards. So to make them, I'm using the Whisper white note cards and envelopes. So you get 20 in a packet, and they come with beautiful envelopes. They are really good quality, and they feel really smooth. And then you get pre-scored little note cards for it, and they measure 5 1/8 by 3 5/8, which is 13 centimetres by 3.2 centimetres. So they're a little bit smaller than a standard sort of C6 card that I normally make. Let me get one to show you. Room full of cards. So that's a standard C6. So you can see they're a little bit smaller, but they're still a good size, cute to receive. Okay, so the stamp set I'm using is the 4-season floral, and this one's available in the beginner's brochure. You will be able to see the beginner's brochure on the sidebar of my blog. You can see the current catalogue, annual catalogue there. You can see the beginner's brochure for this, and pretty soon you'll be able to see the new mini there as well. So you just click on that, it takes you to the PDF, which you can download from there. So I'm using, oh, I took it away. I'm using this stamp here and the thank you again. Could have used that stamp, but I decided to go for that one. That's very similar to another stamp we've got, although it is a bit different, it's a bit bigger. But I just thought that one was quite cute. You're using 2 of the stitched rectangles, and if I demonstrate which one it is. So you are using the second smallest for the stamped image, and you're using the largest one of this other section for the DSP, and it does actually fit perfectly on this little box. So if you do make one of these little boxes with the chocolate in it, you could, instead of, I've double matted it, but you could just do it with a stitched framelit. And I think if I'd have worked that one out, that's what I would have done, but I didn't, so I didn't. That's all there is to it. So let's do the stamping. So I've got my ink pad stamps mounted. I'm using Highland Heather, because although we're using purple posy, we don't have the ink for it. So if you stamp off Highland Heather, you get a really good match for it. So I'm going to bring in the some scrap, because I am stamping off for this. So let's do the image first. And I've just realised I haven't got my blended pen, which is what I want. So I'm doing a little bit of blending. So stamp off, stamp on. There we go. And then I'm just going to take, these are one of our blender pens, and they're just a little bit, they allow you to just blend a little bit with, to get a sort of a watercolour effect, but it's a little bit more controlled and neat. And you could also pick up a bit of the ink if it wasn't quite dark enough. If you wanted to go a little bit darker, you could pick up a bit of that ink, because it is quite subtle. Just to add a little hint of colour on there. So that's what I've done there. On the others, if I show you, then you just run the ink off there, and then you're free to use it for another one. Let me just bring in one of the other cards. I didn't add ink to that, I just literally used the blender pen on that, but I added a little bit of ink with that one, so you can see the difference. Okay, and then we need to do the thank you, so I'm going to stamp the thank you up in this corner. Photopolymer stamp sets need a stamp pad, a stamping mat, but I've got my thick pad here, so that works. Just realised this needed to be stamped off, so that's better. Oops. Don't know where my brain goes, but it just disappears. So now what we've got to do is just cut that out, and then we need to cut out a bit of the DSP. So that's the bit left over from making the box. So I'm going to cut that with this bigger one there. So I'm going to die cut those two out and come back to you. So those are cut out there, and if I show you, that would have fitted absolutely perfectly on this box. So that's another idea that you could do. And then I cut a piece of purple posy to just mat behind this, but a really subtle mat. It's just tiny, and I've cut this at 2 7/8 by 1.5, and it just gives you just a tiny mat around. For the thank you, I'm taking my long scissors and I'm cutting them, so just doing straight up there, straight up the centre, cut the other side of that, and then slant it. Get me thanks. And then with the U, I'm going to cut that a little bit there so it's easier to hold. I need to just trim slightly. And cut like that. So we'll get rid of those bits. Oh, a little bit of glue on the craft mat. It is actually quite a bit messy, I never noticed that. Oh well. And then this is a good way of using up little scraps. I think this one will be enough if I just stick these. I like to stick the straight edge to a straight edge that we might have on there. I've cut that U quite small now. Don't like it. Don't like it. Going to do it again. Going to do it again, and then that brings in my ink, and then that reminds me I was going to stamp on the envelope. So we'll do that now, because I'm just not happy with the way that U looks at all. So stamp another one, and then we're going to stamp this image on the card, on the envelope, and then I'm also going to stamp it on the inside of the card as well. Oh, rubbish. Right, let's see if I can line that up. A bit of ghosting there going on. I might change my mind and use a different one. Just leave that for now. So that's why you need a stamp mat. And although I've got a pad here, sometimes in my quickness it's not great. So I'm going to cut up there. Cut up there. There. I prefer that U now. It's a little bit more at the same sort of thickness as the other one. So I'm just going to stick those down, and then we'll do the same sort of cutting. You'd have seen me do my sentiments like this before. It is a favourite way that I like to do it, and it's quick and easy, and anybody can do it, and it means you don't need dies and punches to give yourself a nice matted sentiment, and a great way to use up little bits of scraps of cards that you might have thrown away. So we'll get that stuck down. Utilising the wigglage there. It needs to go over a little tad on the top. There we go. And then we'll just get those ears cut out. So I'm just going to go, I did before, up the side there, on the diagonal. So that's that cut out, and I quite like that look. And then do the same here. There we have our thank you. All done. Got room to do some more with that. So now let's get these stuck down on my card. I'm actually not minding that. I'm actually keeping that. So we'll stick these down. I'm not putting anything up on dimensionals for this. I'm just going to stick it all down flat. So I've done that so that we've got it slightly raised up, but I've kind of looked to get the same distance there as I've got there. That was what I was trying for. And then this, I'm going about 2/3 over, but I'm also like making that space there and that space there about the same size. And I'm looking at these dots for guidance to get it straight. And also a sort of a 90-degree angle here. Okay, and then to stick the thank you on, because it does go over, and that's 2 layers of cardstock, I'm just going to put some glue on this side and then just sort of leave it free falling, just hanging out. So putting the thank there. So it's just stuck on that side, and the same with this. Put a bit of glue on there and stick that below it so it's sticking over a wee tad. got a bit of glue on there, but that's not to worry. I will mop that up afterwards. So that is my little thank you for shopping with me. So hope you like that, and hope you see how nice these little note cards are. I've always got some in my cupboard, really easy, and love it that you get a nice envelope, and doing a little bit of stamping to follow the pattern through. So all the details are over on my blog, nigezza.co.uk, and if you'd like to receive a nice thank you gift from me, then just shop with me, and I will be delighted to be making you something next month to send as a little thank you. And don't forget to use my host code and you get some free product. And at the moment, if you shop, for every £45 you spend on product, not including the P&P, you get a £4.50 voucher to spend from August the 4th to the end of August next month, which is when we get the new catalogue as well. So plenty to spend on, stocking up on all your Christmas papers and stamp sets and ribbons and embellishments. So yeah, so if you spend 90, you'll get two £4.50s, 180 you'll get 4, etc. So yeah, no limit to how many you can collect. So go get shopping. Okay, bye for now.